Yo, what's up, everybody? If you haven't heard about Anchor, let me tell you, this is one of the easiest ways to make a podcast. First of all, it's free. Second of all, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit the podcast right from your phone or computer. Third, Anchor will also distribute for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. Then you can also make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Later.
Welcome to The Lion's Den with Seth, a podcast where progressive men and women can learn and teach each other the ways of the land. The Lion's Den is where royalty comes to council. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Seth.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? What's going on? Hopefully you're enjoying your day, and welcome to another episode of The Lion's Den. I'm so glad that you're here. This is going to be an outstanding show. We got a brother on named Kent Osborne, and he is going to give his thoughts and his experiences and why you should remove excuses. And you know how it is when we're in The Lion's Den. We talk about that all the time, right? Those excuses, everybody have them, like opinions, you feel me? But what do you do when you go through something and then you recover, and then you go through something else and then you continue to recover? Something is building inside of you. So that's what we're going to talk about. But you already know what we do and why we do it. We have to give a special shout out to our sponsors. So if you can, please look at your screen if you're there. And if you're listening to us live anywhere else and you can't see it, check out Upper Souls. Upper Souls on Instagram. This young man has his own online shoe store. So check him out. He got those retro kicks and they are so official. All right. And great prices. So make sure you go to Instagram /Upper Soul. That's UPPERSOLEZ. All right. So step into 2021, right? In style, because this year is a mess. Next, if you have any questions with how to get your credit right, I highly encourage you to give Miss Tracy Brown a call. She can help educate you on financial literacy and just find out what you need to do to get on the right track. Her number is 618-560-3687. One more time, that's 618-560-3687. All right, give her a call and tell her the Lion's Den sent you there. Right on. So, and again, shout out to everybody that's watching live. You know, let us know where you're tuning in to, and we're going to go around and introduce our co-host, Will. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man? I missed this setting, bro. Hey.
Yeah. You've been out for a minute.
Yeah, man. Gotta have surgery, man. Life kick you, but hey, when it kick you, it shows you how resilient you can be. But it also teaches you to value what's in front of you right now and to keep trucking forward, right?
Absolutely.
But what's going on, Dan? Hey, I'm looking forward to hearing this brother's story, man. The resilience is impeccable, but the outcome is the most brightest thing about his story that I would love to see the reaction from our audience tonight. So looking forward to it.
Absolutely. And then also too, shout out to the rest of the den. We got Larry, he overseas getting it in. We got Foots, he's online right now. He's helping us out on the back end. And then Herm, he had to take a day. So listen, life happens. You feel me? Life happens, and it's supposed to happen. You feel me? Because if not, then what are you made of? Right on. So shout out to them and make sure that they're in good spirits and our thoughts are with them. So this brother here, man, Mr. Kent. So ladies and gentlemen, this brother is, he has his own trucking company. He's a youth motivational speaker. He's a rapper, and he also does short films. He's going to be doing the short film here pretty soon, and also has his own nonprofit organization. So I'm going to see find out sometime within this show if he's half Jamaican. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up. All right. What's going on, brother? How you feeling?
Man, I'm blessed. How you doing?
Man, slow motion, man, trying to be like you. How you find the time to get it in?
Oh, man, just a lot of energy. And you're right. How do I find the time to do it, man? You know, God is good. Just got a lot of energy and, you know, just passionate about what I believe in and just can't stop. You know, God gave me an opportunity to do what I love to do and gave me a second chance at life. You know, after going through what I've been through, man, I'm just seizing the moment, you know, working hard, grinding.
Yes. So tell us a little bit of what you went through, if you don't mind.
Oh, man. I mean, it started young when, you know, when I was 5 years old, losing my dad at 5 and my mom at 9 and, you know, having to go live with my aunt until I was 14 years old. And me and my aunt couldn't get along and running away from my aunt and getting out into the streets and hanging around the wrong crowd. And you already know how it is, man. The people you hang around plays a major important part in your life. If you hang out with losers, you're going to become a loser. You hang out with winners, you're going to become a winner. And I just found myself hanging out with all these losers, and I became a loser. I was robbing. I was stealing. I was snatching purses. I was doing coke. I dropped out of high school, and I was in and out of jail my youth for years. And I went to prison twice. The first time I went when I was 19. The second time I went when I in 2007, and that's when I changed my life and gave my life to Christ, and here I am now.
That's dope. That's dope, brother. That's dope, man. And so I commend you on that and also your transparency, because there's a lot of individuals that are in situations and they're trying to get out of it, but they don't really want to talk about it. And I believe it may be pride, it may be ego, but by sharing your experiences, you can ultimately help someone overcome and break through. So, man, kudos to you, you know, for that. Big Will, what questions you got?
I want to start off by you speaking to you losing both your mom and your father at such a young age.
Yes.
What did that do to you mentally at such a young age? And what advice can you offer for other young men and women that fathers may still be alive but not present in their life to propel them in the right direction?
Man, trying to be like...
man, it kind of messed me up in a big way because I didn't have that support. I didn't have that motherly love and that fatherly love. Even living with my aunt, she didn't give me the love and affection that my mom and my dad gave me. So we had problems with that. And even when I played football, when I was staying with my aunt, she did put me in football, but she never showed up. You know, her husband, he was present, but he was more the quiet one, you know, and she was more the outspoken. Like the women in my family, they're more outspoken than the men. So he was just more laid back, and, you know, they never supported me on anything. So I didn't have that bond. And like I tell people all the time, a child don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. So they wasn't showing me that they cared. So I didn't really care how much they know. I didn't really want to listen because, you know, it was a lot of physical abuse, things that she used to say. And I believe if my mom was here, if she was still alive today and my dad was still alive today, I wouldn't have went through what I went through. I wouldn't have hooked up with the wrong crowd, because that would have been my mentor. Both of them would have been my mentors, and they would have directed me in the right place and told me who I needed to hang around and who I didn't need to hang around. Like I always tell people, you are the sum total of the first 5 people you hang around. So you should always want to know who are your kids hanging out with, what kind of people they hanging out with. Because if you can find out who the kind of people that they hanging out with, you can really tell which direction they going in.
Absolutely, man. That's dope. You're making a lot of sense, and hopefully individuals are getting this. And ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this live, do us a favor and share this, right? Share. It only takes 2 seconds to do it, right? Share it. So special shout out to everybody that's watching it. I see live. Hey, James, how you feeling? Miss Erica, how are you? Miss Tracy Brown, yes, ma'am. How are you? Camille, good morning. Not good morning. Good afternoon. You see, I hardly sleep, right? Krista, what's going on? And everyone else that's watching. AG, what's going on? Miss Harris, how are you? You know, we all have breaking points, brother. And we go through things in life. And what would you say was the pivotal point in your life when you was going in and out, in and out, in and out? What was it that clicked inside that said, you know what, this ain't it, this isn't for me? What was that?
Oh man, it was the second time when I was locked up in prison in 2007, and I couldn't believe that I was back in prison again, because here I am, I'm just getting done coming off the street performing, with major artists. I used to open up for Lil Wayne. I was opening up for Juvenile. I was doing songs with Pastor Troy, songs with Phil Mob, and I was selling my music all out my trunk. But I was still selling drugs at the same time. But what I was doing was taking that drug money and investing it back into the music game, trying to make it up out the dope game. Like I had seen so many rappers do before me, like Master P, and how I seen Baby and Slim from the Hot Boys, how they took their money and put it into the music game and made it out. And that's what I was trying to do. So I was trying to do wrong and I was trying to do right. But when I got busted and I ended back up in prison in 2007, I'm sitting in there like, man, I can't believe this. Here I am, a rap artist that's, performing with these major artists, that's traveling, all over the Southeast selling my music out my trunk, and I'm sitting back in prison again. And I remember talking to this guy that was in there, and I was telling the guy everything that I was doing when I was out, I was performing with these artists and doing music. And I remember sitting there talking to this guy, and this guy telling me, Ken, listen. He said, bro, if you want to be successful, he said, you need to give your life to God. He said, I'm telling you, bro, everything that you want out of life, it can happen for you, bro. You just got to give your life to God. He said, man, come to church with me. See, they had church like 7 days a week in prison. He said, all you got to do is come to church with me. He said, I'm telling you. So basically what that guy was telling me was Matthew 6:33, seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness, and all things should be added unto you. So that's what he was telling me when he was saying, man, if you give it to God, anything that you want out of life, it can happen for you. Because I was out there, man, just leaning on my own understanding. And like in Proverbs 3:5-6 says, trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean not into thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy path. And see, I was leaning on my understanding, my own understanding. I was leaning on my friends' understanding. I was leaning on the understanding what the rappers was telling me on TV, how to ride with that fire and pop pills and sell drugs and all that kind of stuff right there. And it kept landing me behind bars and landing my friends dead for leaning on my own understanding. So when I got locked up in 2007, that was my wake-up call and my breaking point.
All right. Right on, man. Congratulations. Seriously, that's dope. What you got, Will?
Brother, I think the biggest thing I took away from that story was the importance of a mentor and the influence that they can have on your direction. But at the same time, I think he walked you into that realm of self-accountability versus dependency, because no one's going to do it for us.
That's right.
So as you've been a motivational speaker, what are some things that you do to connect with youth before they get to that jail cell? Because that's the struggle right now, is what can we do to reach kids before they get to that point? So what are some of your angles that you come with to connect with kids?
Well, a lot of the things I'm doing right now, especially because of the coronavirus. So before the coronavirus hit, we would go to like detention centers. We would go to the prison. We would go to the programs. And my wife and I, she speaks too. I got her into it, so she speaks. So we would go there and speak to the kids and share our life story, what we done been through, and to keep the kids from going through the same things that we have been through. When I talked to them about God, how God delivered me. I remember right before the coronavirus, we went to this detention center, and it had to be like 40 or 50 youth out from that detention center. And after we got done speaking to them kids, and I got done telling them my story and telling them how God had brought me out and delivered me from what I went through, and I asked them how many of them were saved. And like out of 40 or 50 of them, hardly any of them raised their hand. But when I asked them how many want to be saved and give their life to Christ, almost all of them stood up and gave their life to Christ that day.
That's dope.
From hearing my story and talking to them.
That's good. Well, listen, I want to ask you something too. And also, audience, if you have any questions, make sure you chime in, or you can call, and the number has been pinned. Okay. The number is 618-792-6747. All right. So make sure you give us a call if you have questions or anything, any type of comment that you wanna add. Okay, but hey, brother. So my question is for you, and it seems as though you connect with the individuals or the youth, through church and Bible-based messages. How do you connect to those individuals that may not be, Christians, or they may not subscribe to that, that thought process, but they still need help, right? Or is it conditional? Right. Like, how do you care for the individual based off of what they believe or don't? You get what I'm saying? How do you convey that message?
Well, at the end of the day, it's all principles. You know what I'm saying? I just teach them principles of life. Like, it ain't you don't have to incorporate God in it. I don't have to incorporate God in it for someone to be successful. It's all the principles, work hard. Like when I was going through my story when I got out and was looking for a job after getting out of work release and looking for a job, I didn't give up. It was people turning me down saying, oh, you got felonies. We can't hire you because you got felonies. I filled out 100 and something applications, still sending them in. Even though they were turning me down, I still filled out 100 and something applications. There was all kind of oppositions and adversity along the way. But like I tell anybody, man, looking for it, don't give up. Like if I was able to do it, you can do it. So I was able to get a job after filling out 100 and something applications. I didn't just let them tell me, oh, we can't hire you. So since we can't hire you, we're going to push you back to the street and go out and do the same thing you was doing. No, I believed that I could do it, and I went out there. And I'm telling you, man, if you go out there, you never give up, you never quit, you can accomplish anything in life that you want. But first, you got to have a plan. You got to know what you want. A lot of people go through life drifting along, not knowing. You know what I'm saying? So they're making so many accidents because they don't even know what they want out of life. The first thing you got to do is figure out what is it that you want. Once you figure out what you want, you go out there with all your might, all your audacity. And I'm telling you, man, you can accomplish anything in life that you want. And listen, you don't have to be a religious person. You don't have to be a Christian to do these things. And once you get that job, like I tell anybody, I don't care. You got to take whatever job it is that comes available.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. You can't be a job snob. Right.
There you go. Yeah, you can't be a job snob because really at the end of the day, you messed up. You messed your life up. You went out there, committed crime. Now you got felonies and stuff like that. You made it hard for yourself. So if you can't get the dream job that you want, you got to do what you got to do. If it's busting suds, we're flipping hamburgers, French fries, whatever it is, and you do that job. And guess what? You want to make sure that you give it 120% at whatever job it is that you do your best.
Damn right.
Because this is the thing about it. Because when you work in that job and somebody see that you giving it 110%, when it's time to move somebody up to that next level to a supervisor or manager, guess what they're going to be looking at? They're going to be looking at you.
Right.
But if you out there giving it 60 and 70%, like you don't even want to be there, when it's time to lay somebody off, guess who they're going to lay off?
They looking at you. Right.
They looking at you.
Absolutely.
Because you ain't doing what you got to do. So these principles that you can take, and you don't have to be saved. You don't have to be religious. You just got to follow the principles and do what you got to do, and you still can become successful.
Love it. And you're absolutely right, brother. And so shout out to you, and also to the parents out there, right, that don't know how to have those conversations with your child right now. And I know that these times are hard with the COVID and the distance learning and all of that, but it still applies. Principle, hard work still applies. So before we go into the next question, I want to make sure we give another shout out to our sponsors, right? Kevlar's Grill. Y'all already know what it is. Look, brother, whenever you come up here, if you have a chance, come on up here and we can get it in with Kevlar's Grill, man. So what it is it's a restaurant inside the VFW. All right. The VFW outside the back gate of the Scott Air Force Base gate, right? Inside the VFW, but they have the great chicken, fish, and ribs, you name it. And they do military discount, and they have Grubhub, right? So 25-mile radius, they can come to you. Kevlar's Grill, give them a call because I know you hungry. Tell them the Lions Den sent you. The number 618-416-5700. All right, make sure you give them a call. Next, if you are looking for a home in the San Antonio area, or you're trying to get rid of your crib in the San Antonio area, make sure you holler at Miss Monique Slater. She's a realtor, and she's also a retired Air Force vet, 28 years, Chief Master Sergeant. So I like to deal with individuals that I can trust, and I'm sure you do too. So her and her team has got the whole home buying system down to a science. They can help you get a home in 6 hours. All right. So highly suggested. Give her a call. Her number is 210-237-7268. One more time. That's 210-237-7268. Give her a call. What you got, Will?
Brother, I want to get in a little bit about your rap career because you're inspiring a lot of young cats that may be listening, but I want you to put them on game with something, because when I go talk to some youth, that's the only aspiration they have, is to be a rapper.
Yeah.
And I'm not for lightening your dream or diminishing what you want to do, but trying to put that realism on top of the success rate for being a rapper. What is it that you can provide to a young man or a young lady, because a lot of young girls out here trying to get it in too, as it relates to how to balance your wants and not to put all your eggs in one basket?
All right, yeah. I'm gonna answer that question. here in a few seconds. Another thing I wanted to jump on top of what was, because I know you mentioned something about the youth earlier, you know, and when we were saying when you were asking how can you talk to the youth if they don't believe in God, right? And I was telling you that, you know, it's principles. So another thing I would say to the youth, as far as with the youth, is you know, the principle is the people you hang around plays a major important part in your life, right? And I know I said that earlier. If you hang out with losers, you're gonna become a loser. If you hang out with winners, you're gonna become a winner. So you want to get around people that are winning in life. You want to get around people that's going to college, going to school, you know, that want something out of life. And like I said, these are principles that anybody can follow. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be spiritual. If you can just remember that one principle right there, the people you hang around plays a major important part in your life. You hang out with losers, you're going to become a loser. Hang out with winners, you're going to become a winner. You know, and make sure you finish school. School is important. Education is important. Knowledge is power. So make sure you get in school and finish school. So these are principles. So so to address about the music thing, and I always tell kids like this: everybody can't be a rapper.
Thank you. Nor football, right?
Yeah.
Listen, or anything. You can't be what you like to see. You right?
That's right.
Right. Go ahead.
Right. So everybody can't be a rapper. Everybody can't be an athlete, right? But guess what? Everybody can be. Anybody can be an entrepreneur.
Yep.
Why not own the football team?
See, we don't have those conversations. See, we have conversations in school as to how to be a great worker, but not a great business owner. Right. And we talk about how to get the right job to make money, but we don't talk about how to have the money work for you. You get what I'm saying? So the conversations need to shift. So, but yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Damn. Well, look, man, hey, got a couple of questions too on live. So shout out to Miss Erica. She says she commend you for being transparent. What other things would you like to accomplish? So again, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you know this or not. Like I said, I ain't asked you yet, but you can let me know if you're Jamaican or not. But he has a book. He has a trucking company. He's a motivational speaker and has a nonprofit organization. He's a rapper and he makes short films. So this is our own personal Master P on this show. So look, brother, what else is it that you want to accomplish?
Well, definitely I want to get into acting. You know, acting is something that I want to accomplish, a major goal that I want to accomplish at the end. Like I said, I got a trucking company, you know, building my fleet. I got a trucking company, but I always had one truck. And the reason being I always only had one truck is because starting a trucking company was never part of my plan from the get-go. When I was in prison, the guy told me, Kent, you want to be successful in the music, you need to give your life to God, right? So I gave my life to God because I wanted to be successful in music, and I started doing Christian rap. But I had to figure out how to get there. Like, all right, you want to be a Christian rapper, you want to be the top Christian rapper. How are you going to get there? All right, so I know it costs money for flyers. I know it costs money for promoters. I know it costs money to get in the studio. You know, I know it costs all this money to make the dream happen. So I'm gonna need a job, and I'm gonna need a job that pays some big money, like the money I was making when I was in the street. Not no McDonald's job or no little job like that. Ain't gonna be able to run no record label.
Right.
That's how I got into trucking. Somebody was telling me about trucking. I said, oh, okay, so I can make money in trucking, and then I can take that money and invest into my goals.
Brother, so listen, hold on, and I hate to cut you off, but it's so simple. If you can incorporate within this story how the street game is the same in, running the business. It's no big difference. There's no difference.
Big difference at all. That's what I use. I use the street game from when I was in the street to run my business. It's the same thing. Even with the trucking, how we talking about trucking, now that I've accomplished everything I've accomplished, now I'm like, man, I want to grow my trucking company. So I don't have to, because I'm still driving the truck too. I'm an owner operator, so I'm still driving the truck. So I'm like, okay, I got all this stuff going. Now I need to get off the truck. Now I need to start taking my trucking money, not spending it on my books, my motivational speaking, my music and stuff that I was spending on, but not taking that money and investing it and buying more trucks. And it's just like the street game. When we bought product, we might buy the product for $800. We flip that $800, make 16, and we buy 2.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? Then we buy 3. Then we buy 4. You know what I'm saying? And then the credit is the same thing. The man on the street, he gonna credit you what you want. You know what I'm saying? As long as you pay him back his money. It's the same thing with creditors out here. As long as you pay them back their money, they're gonna give you what you want.
Message. Look, hold on. Check it out, bro. And this is the deal. That's why school is important. You understand? Because if you don't know the basics of math, you can get played right in your face. You get what I'm saying? So whatever it is that you need to learn how to count, do that. But the system doesn't change. The system does not change. Hold on, brother. Listen, we got one more question. I'm gonna get what you will. So another question says, this is from Miss Lily Wilson. She says, it seems like some who are released never fully adjust to being on the outside. Is there more that sounds, I'm sorry. She says, is there more that should be done on the inside to prepare them? Or is it just the individual's own issue that prevents them from advancing? That's a great question. Because look, bro, you got some folks that get out and they don't know how to let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't disconnect. Right. So what do you think, being in, like, what do you think the issue is and how it should be changed? Or is it the individual or the system?
I think it's the individual, because why you always tell people you start while you in there. While you in there, that's where you started. You start getting around the right people. You start changing your mindset. It's all about the mindset. And that's why I say from prison to power. That's why you see me, I represent prison to power. The prison starts in the mind. God allows us to have the power over our lives. So the prison is in the mind. So people got to change their mindset. And it starts while you in there getting around the right people, reading the right books, changing that mindset. And even when if you go to work release, like I went to work release, so they gave me an opportunity to get a job. I was working in DOC, right? Work release part of prison. They give you a job to where you're able to go to work on the outside. You work 7 days a week, 5 days a week, however long you want to work that week. You go out and work, and then when you come home get off work, you got to go back to the center. So what did it do? It allows you to make money and save your money. DOC get half of that money too that you're making, because you're living with them and they taking care of you, so they get some of that money too. But if you there for a good while, you can save up a lot of money, so you'll be ready to, get out and invest into your business if you want to, or do what you got to do. So I believe it's the mindset of the individual.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. That's dope. What you got, Will?
So you mentioned your walk with God and giving your life to God.
Yes.
How do you re-energize yourself? Because as Scooby alluded to, but you sound like a Jamaican. It's all in your blood, right? How do you keep yourself recharged to get up and keep doing it, to keep growing, to keep wanting to elevate to the next level? Where do you pull the energy from? But most importantly, how do you put that into somebody else?
Yeah, well, I know where I came from. And I know I ain't got too many chances. People ain't gonna give me too many chances because the things that I've been through. So like I said, I get up, I make sure I talk to God, I pray, and I just try to remember the scriptures in the Bible, because it was the scriptures in the Bible that changed my life. I ain't gonna even lie. For me, that's what it was, reading that Bible and learning what God requires. And I start doing what the scriptures were saying, and that's how my life began to change. So it's really just staying connected with God and, you know, getting around the right people. So that's how I stay connected and stay on the right track.
Yo, that's very important, man. It's very important. And I know you said it over and over again, but it's the individuals that you hang around with. That's no matter what, you know, either in or out. And because that makes some sense, man. I never really thought about that as far as you continue or you start when you come in and how you want to leave there. So that makes a lot of sense.
You know, I'm gonna say this too, because you touching a good point. I forgot to mention this, but yeah, how we talking about getting around the right people, getting around the right mentors. When I got out, I got around a friend of mine. Shout out to Mervin Thompson. I got around him. He had his own trucking company, right? And a friend that was dating my cousin, he connected me with this guy, and I used to see this guy all the time with his family. He used to be with his kids at their football games, with his girls at their cheerleading practice. I'm like, dang, this man a truck driver. This when I was just driving trucks. I said, this man a truck driver, but how is he able to get all this time and free time with his family like that? And that's when he introduced me to getting my own authority. That's the difference. When you got your own authority, that's starting your own trucking company. Because I was driving the truck, and they wanted to keep me out 2 and 3 weeks at a time when you're working for a company. So now by me driving 2 or 3 weeks at a time, I never had no time to really be able to go to the studio. I really never had no time to be able to do interviews because I'm always on the truck. So I had to figure something out, like, how can I get this? How can I get like him? He got a truck. He drive trucks, but he got a lot of free time. And that's when he introduced me to the getting your own authority and starting your own trucking company. He said, bro, listen, if you get your own company, man, you can do what you want to do. So when I got into it, what I started doing was we got load boards when we run our trucking company, and you can put in the city, wherever city you in. Like if I'm in Atlanta, I'll put in the load board that I'm in Atlanta, and just say I want to go down to Florida, where I'm from. I will put in Florida, and I'll put in Miami as the destination. So all the loads comes up that's going from Florida to Miami, and it's going to have the price that they paying on each load. You know, like right now, you get a good load going down to Florida from Atlanta for $2,000. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to have a load on us. So what I was doing, wherever I had an engagement at, wherever they wanted me to perform at, I would book a load going to that city. Like, so I kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I book a load, say if they wanted me in Miami, I book a load for $2,000 going to Miami. I get there, park my truck at the truck stop. I would call Enterprise. Enterprise will come pick me up. I get in the car, rent the car from Enterprise and go do my engagement. Once I'm done with my engagement, I go back to Enterprise, drop the car off and tell them to drop me back off to my truck. I get back to my truck. Now I'm on the load board looking for a load to go somewhere to finish working to my next engagement. So getting around the right mentors is very important. And that's really been key for me. I ain't gonna even lie. Getting around the right people, getting around the right mentors to help take me to that next level.
Yo, that's dope. That's dope. I love it. I love it, man. Having that authority. And I believe, and ultimately, it's freedom. You see what I'm saying? How do you create the freedom? So you have to change the way you think, because you can work yourself into an early grave. And people always ask me, well, you know, how do you have time to do this? And because I make time. You see what I'm saying? If you prioritize the things that you got going on, you make time to do what you want. Because listen, you do it anyway, right? You can make time on some frivolous things that doesn't do anything for you, right? It doesn't bring life to yourself or to anybody else. So how about you flip the script? How do you get more energy or get more freedom to do that? Man, that's awesome, brother. That's awesome. And it is about having that shift in conversation in the individuals that you are surrounded by, because there's individuals out there that don't want to have these conversations because they know it all. What can you tell a person that knows everything?
I can tell a person that knows everything, man. If you know everything, you don't know nothing.
There you go. There you go. And they ain't listening anyway. You get what I'm saying? It's like trying to pour water into a cup with a hole at the bottom of it. Like, so what's the point? Right. And then so at the end of the day, you want to thinking to yourself, why am I still pouring into this food? You see what I'm saying? Right. And then maybe I'm not the one to mentor them. You see what I'm saying? Have you ever cross that bridge when an individual that you were not connecting to, that you had to just say, look, let me go on somewhere else, or someone else should be, you know, is more suited for that person? Have you ever done that?
Yeah, I had a friend, I had a family member that my people wanted me to mentor. And yeah, I just got out of prison, you know, and, you know, I remember sitting there talking to him and, you know, trying to tell him about life and everything I would say. He was like, oh yeah, I know that. Yeah, man. Yeah, I know. Like he knew everything I was trying to tell him. He would cut me off and like, oh yeah, I know this. I know this man. So I already knew at the same time. He knew everything, getting out. Like if you knew everything, you wouldn't have been in prison.
First of all, you know what I'm talking about? It be them ones, right? It's why you so damn smart, but you got smart in prison. You feel what I'm saying? But prior to that, you just knew every damn thing. That's crazy. What you got, Will?
Let's talk about some of the travels. Where are some places that you've been? Because, you know, a lot of people get stuck in that box, right? They get so comfortable with that hood or that neighborhood. But share some of your experiences where you can show them that it's something else on the other side of that wall. You're not just confined to where you grew up.
I mean, you mean as far as like where I've been, as far as with my music and speaking and different things like that?
Just traveling in general. Because, you know, it evolves us when we get around different cultures, different ways of life. Speak to some of that.
All right. Well, you know, I've been to DR. You know, I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Bahamas, you know, as far as international. I know them three right there, the three countries that I've been to, and you know, I've been all over the United States. So them the places I've been.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, no, that's good. So the question is, have you seen that your conversations change? Because, so like, for example, I've been in the military, we're actually getting ready to retire here soon. And so I do realize that certain conversations I can't have with certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? Not saying I don't want to, but there's a relatability piece that's not met. Now, did you see that once you changed your thought process? When you got out of prison, you're like, okay, cool, this is what I'm gonna do, right? You had your mind set. Did you realize that your circle changed? And when that happened, how did you feel? And how did that happen to you?
Oh yeah. When I got out, my circle definitely changed, and I felt a lot better. Not being around the same kind of people that had me in the trouble I was already in. You know, and like I tell people, if you keep making the same mistakes over and over again, they call that insanity. You know, and it's like bumping your head up against a brick wall. You know, and you see the blood gushing out your forehead, like blood just coming out, but you started bumping it, bam, 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 blood started coming out. That's insane, you know, and that's what I was doing when I was still around the same people. So when I got from around them people that I was hanging around, I felt good. And, you know, everywhere I go, it's the same conversation. I have the same conversation. I never have to, you know, change my conversation and change up my message, because at the end of the day, I always tell people I'm a Christian. You know, and it was by the grace of God. I got to give God all the glory, because if it wasn't for God, I'd be dead or I'd be in prison right now. Mm-hmm. So my conversations stay the same wherever I go, wherever country I go to. See, it's all about God delivered me from this. This what I went through. I tell them what I went through and how I made it out of what I went through.
That's dope. And look, I would like to add too, with that whole insanity piece, you can knock your head up against the wall, but inside, if in your mind, the insanity kicks in when you're expecting a different result. You see what I'm saying? So here you are still knocking your head up against the wall, thinking you about to break through by knocking your head up against the wall. And now you're saying, well, you know what? Maybe if I turn my head this way and then knock it, maybe I'm going to get, no, fool. Now that's insane, because see, you're still doing the same thing, right? But it takes time, and it takes a, I guess, a revelation to you know, to happen. And we're going to talk about that in 1 second. My last sponsor, we got to give a shout out to the Physicians Management Services. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a new skill, okay, if you're looking for a new skill and you're trying to get into the medical field, I highly suggest you to give them a call. And coming up September 1st, you can do this training virtually. All right. And the participants are trained in the following: HIPAA compliance, right? And understanding the insurance verification and coverage, billing, everything, you name it. These tools are transferable to any medical facility. So I highly encourage you to give them a call if you're in a local area or not, because it's virtual. The number is 618-825-8173. One more time, the number is 618-825-8173. Give them a call. Please, 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 and change your life. All right. Now, going back to the show. So brother, what is it that you would like individuals to know?
I would like individuals to know that you can do, anything that you set your mind to. If you just figure out what is it that you want, man, ain't nothing impossible. Mm-hmm. That you can do it. Just figure out what it is that you want, man, and you go after it. You can do anything that you set your mind to. That's what I want them to know. Right.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about that. Think about that, and being in the situation where you have your book, your trucking company, and your nonprofit organization. It shows that you care. As a matter of fact, talk a little bit about your nonprofit organization.
All right, so our nonprofit organization, basically what we do, we work with kids to keep them out of prison and keep them from recidivism, like going back. So that's what our nonprofit does. We teach them. But we're gonna start. We haven't actually got a building yet, but we finna get a building and we're gonna start teaching them life skills. Like a lot of times, a person get out of prison or get out of jail or out of program, and they can't find a job. They end up going back to what they know how to do. So if it was robbing to make money, if it was stealing to make money, or whatever it was, selling drugs, they go back to that same lifestyle. So if we can give them, show them a different route to take to where you don't have to go back that same route. If you go this way right here, this is the way you stay free. This is the way you be successful. And we just want to just not only just talk the talk, but walk the walk.
Right on.
So that's what we're doing.
And what's the name of this organization?
The name of the organization is called Prison to Power.
Okay, Prison to Power. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? We'll make sure we pin that so when individuals know how they can be connected. And is there any opportunities for individuals to help out with that?
Oh, yeah.
Like, are you looking for mentors? Are you looking for individuals? How can they help out?
Well, actually, they can go to the website. They can go to the website and everything is on there. The website is www.prisontopower.org.
Is that a number 2 or just T-O?
It's just a T-O.
Okay, got you.
Mm-hmm.
So what type of individuals do you look for to help out? Like, do they have to have been in prison before, or, what type of individuals do you guys like to, connect with the youth?
No, it don't have to be nobody been to prison before, because last year, my wife and I, it's the pandemic that's going on right now, really, to where we haven't done it this year yet. But once everything is over, we're going to crank back up. Mm-hmm. But we were doing a Saving Our Youth event, right? And what we were doing was on a tour. We started here in Atlanta, Georgia. We went to Augusta, Georgia, and then we went all the way down. South Georgia. And what we would do, we would go and speak, and we would have people from the neighborhood come out and speak. So some of them was police officers, some of them was people that had been through something and got out and started businesses. Some of them were school teachers. So we look for individuals like that has a story. And like I said, they don't have to be and got into it. It's one kid that we had speaking with us. He was 15 years old, man, and he hadn't been to prison and everything, but he's smart, man. He's going to college and everything. So he had a lot to say to the youth that was his age, that, look, man, you don't have to go through trouble, get into trouble. Look at me. I went through school. I'm smart. I'm getting my education, and you can do it.
Right. Oh, wow. That's awesome, brother. So is there any other organizations that you guys partner with or plan on partnering with in the future?
Yeah, we partner with an organization called Second Chance Jobs, and they out of the Charleston. And what they do, They help individuals with second chance, like place them with jobs, get them ready. So going inside the detention center and prisons and telling them, look, if you get your GED, if you take this program right here while you in there, when you get out, we're going to have a job already placed for you.
That's
but
nice.
You got to do this while you in there. So that's one of the companies that we've partnered with.
Wow, man. Well, congratulations on that, man. Congratulations. Yo, that's dope. And man, my heart just swells with pride when there's an individual that is taking the things that they went through and building off of them, right? And ladies and gentlemen, if you're just tuning in or you're interested in what we're talking about removing excuses. Because we can say all day what happened to us and why we can't do this and that. But what happens when you utilize the things that you went through as fuel to help propel you? And that's what this brother is doing and has been doing for a while now. So remove those excuses. Hey, Will, what you got, brother? Any final words?
Yeah, I can say my hat is off to you, brother, for not making an excuse, but also giving yourself a reason to give back, to grow our youth, and to pour into them, because we get so many people to talk about the youth, how bad they are, how they don't do this and do that, but they don't take the time to make a difference. Because when it boils down to, they just need direction, some love, and some consistency. And there's no better person to me on this earth than another man.
Yes.
To be able to do that. So, man, I commend you, brother. Anytime you need help, hey, throw the word out there. We got a network. We'll see what we can do to get you some support. Yes. But do you guys have any events that you guys do on an annual basis that you guys feel you need support for that we can put out there? Hey, anything that we can do to help, man. But just say, I appreciate you, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Hey, and you got friends over here.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Most definitely. And also, too, are you guys doing anything virtually?
Not at the moment. Last year, if you go on my YouTube page, I used to do a Prison to Power show. And I would bring individuals on that had stories that had been through something, but now they are successful. You know what I'm saying? From what they've been through. So I was doing that last year. It's called a Prison to Power show. I did like 2 episodes of it, 12 rounds. I call them rounds, so I did 2 episodes of it. But at the moment, we don't have any shows going on right now online.
Okay, well, dope. Well, listen, man, I know someone, or actually a couple of organizations, but one in particular is named The Village, right? The Village is a organization, nonprofit organization in St. Louis, and they have 50 young men, man, that are, school age, young men that can use this, you know what I'm saying? And this is prior to them going to, getting in the system. You feel me? Okay, so, gotcha. Which is the sweet spot. So, want to be able to link you guys up with that, and it'll be virtually, right? So, last week, I believe it was, last week, man, had a great conversation with these young men, man. It was awesome, man. So, and then I got an opportunity to give them some copies of my book, The Black Collar Mindset. And all of them got it, and we're doing like a books, like a series on it, right? So your book also may be a great addition to that organization, man. So I make sure to link you up with them.
All right? Appreciate that.
No doubt. Well, listen, hey, shout out to everyone that tuned in, and hopefully you received something from this. And it's not about the excuses that you make for yourself. It's what you do, right? It's what you do with those situations. It's how do you recover? How do you rebound? How do you become resilient? It's the things that happen to you, but it's not necessarily what happens to you. It's what happens for you. You feel me? And then when it happens for you, how do you give it to someone else? Because I'm a strong believer in the 3 things happen to you for 3 reasons. A, to wake you up so that you can witness it. B, so you can learn from it. And C, so you can teach it. So if you haven't learned anything, you can't teach nothing. So when we have situations where individuals feel like they keep going through the same thing, well, maybe you need to learn that apparently what you're doing ain't working. You feel me? So once you learn, then you can teach other individuals. You feel me? What you got to work? You got to work with that, Kent? What you think about that?
I was gonna say that, I want people to look at it like this too, that oppositions and adversity don't come to break us, but it comes to make us stronger.
That's right.
So when you go through adversity and opposition, man, don't look at it as something that's trying to tear you down and break you. It's trying to make you stronger. And that's what it did for me. It made me stronger. It built me into the person that I am today. And I tell anybody, if I can do it, you can do it. I'm no different from you. God ain't put nothing special inside of me that he didn't put inside of you. We all human beings. We all the same people. We bleed the same blood. So if I can do it, you can do it. My motto is no excuses. No excuses, because I could have made plenty of excuses why not to be successful. We're losing my dad young, my mom young, in and out of jail, prison, drugs, everything that I've been through, dropping out of school. I could have made plenty of excuses. So all the excuses that they make, I don't want to hear it, because it ain't really, it's just an excuse at the end of the day. So no excuses, guys.
Right on. Hey, that's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. Well, listen, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will see y'all soon. We will see you soon. And as a matter of fact, man, we have a message. I want to make sure I share this to you, with Miss Danielle. She says, if you become virtual, we would love to connect with you in our VA detention centers. Right. So that's in Virginia. So shout out. That's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's what this is about. This is what the Lions Den is about. You feel me? What's the point of having the show if you can't connect the dots? Other than that, you're just talking crazy. So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will see y'all again next week. All right. Make sure you share this and you comment, post, and we will see y'all soon. We love you. Later.
We hope you enjoyed today's show. Make sure to listen to the show on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, and Radio Public, where you can subscribe, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you like or dislike this episode, we'd appreciate your feedback on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Lionscast. Check out the book, The Black Collar Mindset, The Art of Strategic Thinking, on Amazon, or www.theblackcollarmindset.com, a manual to maneuver through life strategically by holding yourself accountable. Tune in next week for another episode of The Lions Den with Seth.